Okay, guys, now we're going to focus on what a marketing plan will look like. Which are the key barriers we're going to focus on? On vertical, okay, that's key. We've already said it. We need to focus on vertical subsegments that are most adequate to our product. But we're also going to link it to partner. Which are the partners that can take us there more easily? What are the activity stage? Which activity stage are we going to operate in? Are we in the customer journey in a phase where we need to make the customer aware of our product, or we need to help them in the decision process? And then link it to the subsegments. Which subsegment we'll focus on? Is it going to be service bureau or automotive? Are there differences linked to the verticals? And especially, do we have very clear determination of the customer, which application we're going to talk to him about, and which is the go-to-market? What's the mix of marketing that we think we can reach him? And which is the go-to-market in terms of which is the focus that we're going to have, and what is the marketing mix that could help us reach him? Okay, if we look at all this, for example, this is the example of Japan. We will have a clear case on Solaris in Japan. Automotive is one of our key verticals in terms of our roadmap, and Solaris is the strongest partner in the world in automotive. Very clearly. In the case of looking at the stages of the customer journey, we will have Japan, where we've attended already 4 of the biggest awareness trade shows in the country. All customers should be very aware of our technology. What we're going to focus now is much more on the consideration and decision stage, on seminars, on webinars, on workshops with customers. This is the kind of area, versus in India, where we have to communicate to the market our presence, and we'll be focusing more on awareness. Okay. And then when you look at subsegments, what we'll do is a very clear segmentation of the market, saying, okay, this is the amount of effort that we need. Why? Because we have the pieces of the toolkit to drive that sale. Okay, let me just show you very fast the examples of Japan, and each of the countries. But for example, in Japan, top priority, Solaris. Why? Strongest partner, 3D printing specialist, strength in automotive. Okay. This is up to us to work, which is the correct mix, and anybody can challenge this. The key thing is this is going to be dynamic, but Solaris, probably in automotive, could take 50% of our investment. Why? Because that's the key area of penetration. We want big wins, okay? At the same time, when you look at electronics, there will be a part of the investment there, industrial-electronics, because of the presence or the contact that Solaris has with companies like Panasonic, like NEC. In the case of our other master partners, Rico and Muto, much more focused on part providers. Can they work with SMBs in Japan that are part providers, be it service bureaus, be it injection molders, be it CNC machine kind of companies? In terms of activity, very clear. Consideration and usage stage, this has to be the main area of focus, okay? We need to be helping close deals. We shouldn't be focusing on explaining the market who we are. We've been everywhere, okay? And segmentation focus, very clear. Service bureau, that should be 35% of our focus. We should have every name of every service bureau in Japan very clearly targeted, who's tackling it in one place. We are doing it, but we have to make sure that this is the main focus. At the same time, automotive, another 20%, and engineering firm. This is just a segmentation, okay, to be challenged. An example of Korea, here we break it down a little bit. We don't have such a clear winner. We have a smaller assortment of partners, okay, less specialized, except Fusion Tech, which is very specialized in medical, and in Korea, who can focus more on the industrial segment and education and research, where they have a lot of strength. So this is the kind of segmentation that we can do, while Formix has penetration in bigger electronics customers, so we can work on that way. In this case, it's a little less clear, clean cut, but we also have a strategy that clearly should guide us. If we see that we're building a plan that doesn't reflect this mix, something is wrong, or we should be retargeting that way. In terms of awareness and consideration, we are practically at the same stage, because we already attended Cintos. The market should be more than aware. We attended, actually our partners in Korea attended other events, and the awareness stage is passed. In terms of mix, there will be a higher mix here of technology and research centers and education. Government has a much bigger presence, but however, service bureaus, again, best customers, productivity-focused customers. This is the area where we can make a killing. We should be focusing, and we should close every deal in the market with a service bureau. In terms of the rest of the market, let me focus on the more mature market. We're talking about rest of APJ. We have more mature markets, less mature markets, but here is a clearer picture. We have Evoke 3D, our most successful partner, and we have a very specific element, which is they've been very successful in penetrating the orthopedics market, okay? Orthotics market, sorry. So very clear focus. They should be in this area, okay? Or for example, DKSH, which is a CNC supplier company, reseller. They clearly know the CNC market, part provider, okay? These are clear focuses. In terms of awareness and consideration, this is a mature market. We've already exposed ourselves pretty strongly in Australia and in Singapore because we're based here, okay? And in terms of mix, okay, is a more of a, you have a mix where you have service bureau, again, very clearly. In every region, we should have every service bureau at hand. And the personalized and orthotics area. This is a difference with any other market. Here, it has to be part of our focus. We should be tackling every brand there is there because this is clearly an area of success. Finally, we focus on a complicated market because it includes many, many markets from Thailand. Although we've been in Thailand before, but I think we haven't been able to have the right partnership there. Vietnam, actually we're not present, but Philippines, Vietnam, let's say Southeast Asia, India. These are more new markets, okay? Here, we're gonna try to develop, okay, some strengths. For example, we have in India, Reddington. Imagine Reddington has been a 3D systems reseller for a long time. They have the market of part providers clearly at their hand. Let's focus them very clearly. 20% of our investment there. Imaginarium, another strong partner, and with a lot of presence in the automotive market, okay, and industrial. Let's use them for that. DKSH Thailand, again, part providers. They can go to every CNC player and we can have a very clear strategy in that case. When you look at activity, it's very different. This is a new market. We need to focus much more on awareness. If we're investing in the decision part, we're not going to generate the funnel that we need for the future, okay? And then in terms of segments, again, service bureau, very clear. That's a focus area. And then I put engineering companies as second, although you could be thinking of automotive or part providers, okay? Just as the breaking points. Just these markets are less mature, okay? This is a question of debate. These markets are less mature, so it will be easier to penetrate. We need to make marketing investment trying to tackle the parts providers, but at the same time, when we build our funnel, it's much more probable that we can work with engineering companies on their R&D area, and through that experience, start extending to the rest of the market. So this is just an example, okay, of all the possibilities we have. In terms of how we're going to build a plan, as I mentioned, currently we've been operating a lot on this setting. Okay, this is the MDF I think I can get. I asked GBU, I have a little battle. This is the marketing budget that marketing gives me. There's a gap. If we need to make the objectives, who cares? We need to build a plan, okay, guys? We need to start bridging that gap, okay? We've done it partially through marketing, but we have to own it. We need to build every element of what we would need this, okay? And we have a deadline of a week to make this happen, okay? Thanks, guys. We will have a session on Friday to go through this in detail, but I just wanted you to prepare so we go more into questions this week.